Pedro.
Hello,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Hi, I just wanted to check to see if you were there.
Yeah, I just had it in the background now.
Okay, good. You're the first one to come on board, and I just wanted to make sure everything was right. Thank you very much.
No problem.
I
Absolutely.
don't know where everybody else is, so I'll be back.
Alrighty, see ya.
Thank you.
No problem.
No, we don't have music for tech. It was Kenny's alarm. It was Kenny's alarm. That was Kenny's alarm. Okay, perfect. So I will get out of it won't fit in my trunk for sure. No, I will get out of this meeting. I'll get out at 5:15. Okay.
When do we log in?
Hi, Lori.
Hi. Thank you for
I
joining
like
us.
that top on you today. It looks great in the video.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so anybody else with this?
No, that's it.
Okay,
So
well,
I am going to start calling.
And they were instructed to sign on at 3:15.
I actually told them 3:15.
Okay, well, it worked for me. Maybe
Yeah.
they're clicking on the wrong link like I initially did.
Right.
It's time to drop down to the 4 o'clock time.
It's very confusing to have the cancellation, but we have to keep doing that, you know,
Right.
until
Yes.
they are officially a 4 o'clock meeting. Pedro's on.
I see that. I'm just going to
Talk to
take
Nell
a
and
break
Lori.
here.
No, are you coming on?
Okay, Michelle just pointed out, because we almost made the mistake of clicking on the wrong one. So don't click on the one that says canceled, of course. Click on the second one, I guess, that says the meeting, the 4 o'clock meeting.
That
And
is
by the
correct.
way, Tanya Navarro asked for an excused absence in addition to Nancy. All right, so I'll bring it up at the appropriate time on the script. So I'll remind you. Okay. Okay. Do you need my help anymore, or are you okay? Okay. Yeah. You, like I said an email I sent to you, even without Tanya and without Nancy, we still have a quorum. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 people attending. Yes, the 4 p.m. one, not the 7:30 one.
On what the objective is? Oh, hi, how are you?
We're moving
You
in.
guys are visiting?
We're moving in.
They're moving in,
Yeah.
I have
Take
room
a
in my
seat.
office,
Do you? Okay. Oh, yeah.
plenty of
or
room.
you can
I
wheel
mean,
one
you
of
know,
these.
we're getting some more
Oh,
furniture.
Oh,
Okay.
Well,
You wheel this one.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm gonna use this one.
We have guests.
How are you, Michelle?
Doing good. I received your email, your voicemail, so yeah, you can.
Are you there, Janelle?
It's okay, I'm here personally.
Hi, Mike. Park.
Is it about OCTA presentation? that you
Yeah.
wanted done?
Yeah, the mayor is asking for OCTA to provide.
Okay.
Yeah, about this. It's for. The status of OCTA are, and then we also wanted to know about. How is that gonna look for now students that are going back to school, if there's any changes have been done to the bus times? And then the fourth one was just about the program that they have for 18 years. We're gonna have 3. Those are the 4 main points that we wanted to talk about. Not for, this next year, we're doing, so if I get up for, workshop. Or you want to be? We're hoping the first, because the second is the early. Yeah, well, there's other, that and everything else like.
Maybe, you know, to do the Prop 218.
Yeah.
Yes. The 4 o'clock one.
I think
Yes.
that's a little too soon, but is it on? The public hearing for the proposition.
Oh, well, I don't know, normal, yeah.
Do the little Zoom camera thing. A little blue camera. You got it. Okay.
So, yeah, so I just wanted to make sure, because I know you wanted to know about it, but there.
Do we have a contract, or should we?
Yeah, I
contact
already
OCTA?
have a contract. The mayor gave me someone, and then they kept passing it along.
Okay,
So,
sounds good.
okay.
I just wanted to tell you we're on the phone and live.
Already?
Yeah. Well, with the participants. I told them 3:15, but so far only Janelle is on.
But this starts at 4, right?
Oh, there's Janelle. I gotta accept her in the meeting. It starts at 4.
Hello. Okay,
Hi, Mark. We hear you.
How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thanks. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody or us. I'm sorry.
so we're getting feedback right now,
We're getting the echo.
but that's because the phone's on. Now, go away. Speak again.
Are you still getting feedback?
Yeah.
Maybe because you have two devices. I'm going to mute myself.
Where's my thing right here? It always gives me my. She's off. He's off.
You're right here.
I've got that mark up. Where's the one that I turn on when I speak and I turn off?
Oh.
The microphone. Usually down here. But where is it?
There's the microphone. Can you hear us? Are you muted? You're muted. Thank you.
A Zoom.
I'll be
icon.
right back, Janelle.
You know, he's a presenter?
I'll be right back.
Yeah, because once he gets in there, once he clicks on that, she's
Yes,
gonna be
that's fine.
Welcome, Nabil and Christy. I'm going to mute. Can you try your audio? Say something.
Can you hear us?
Can you speak up, please?
Can you hear us? Lori,
Speak
can
up,
you hear us?
please.
I am talking.
Can we turn up the volume here?
I am talking. Can you hear me?
How about now? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Just
I
barely.
can.
Is John still around?
I don't know. What did he need?
I can barely hear Nabil.
Oh.
What do you think? I don't think we can hear him.
So what you want to do is click select all present, even though they're not.
Even
all.
though they're not.
Yeah. And then later we could change it. Because then they won't.
Click Nabil too.
No. Only the members, and then scroll down and save. Are you expecting someone not to be here?
Yes.
You can close
We
that.
have 2 excuses. We have Nancy is excused, so I
You can just-
unclick, right?
Yeah,
and Tanya Navarro is not here either.
and then save.
And then save.
Yep. That's great.
Oh, okay.
So now you did at least the system one. Let me go check his
Audio.
audio.
Hi, it's Lori. You know, John was here and then we kind of sent him away because we thought everything was good. But if one of you guys can come down, we can't figure out why when Nabil speaks in the conference room, you can barely hear him. Oh, John is here.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you anyway, Andrew. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Okay, so can you go ahead and speak, Nabil? No, we can't hear you. No, can I suggest that you disconnect and try to go back in, John? Let him come back in.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and mute us for now. Just because-
Janelle, we're muting for a few moments. Hi, Brian.
Hello, hi.
Hi, Nabil. Hello. Can we hear you now?
Nabil, we still can't hear you. We could see your lips moving, but we can't hear you.
We can see your lips moving.
They did.
We've been trying to figure it out for a few days. John's been here a lot. And this is a new development.
Oh, then look at Nabil laugh. But you can't hear anything.
Gary Wood's here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest that. Hi, Commissioner Wood. We have Commissioner Wood, Chair McLaughlin, Commissioner Germain, and staff. So we're waiting on a couple of
The other
people.
option is that you can call.
I just wanted to verify you can hear me.
we don't get feedback, I might have to close this. Yeah.
Gary and Brian,
It looks good.
can you speak real quick, just to make sure your audio is working?
Can you hear me?
Nabil,
Can you
we
hear me?
hear you now, yes. How about you, Gary?
You can't see me, right?
No, we cannot.
For some reason, I can't turn on my video.
Oh, I have to turn,
No, it's not him.
no?
But I don't know
But go
why.
here under share screen, click on button right there, and do multiple.
Oh, it says the host disabled screen.
Gary, I'm sorry. Can you speak up a little
Everybody
bit?
else can talk. Stay allow. See on the top where it keeps. It's asking you, and go ahead and click on allow.
There you go. Awesome. Here I am. Thank you.
Of course.
Dude. So much.
Lori though?
Lori, can you talk?
Yes.
Yes,
We can hear us, right?
yes, can you hear me now? Sorry, Gary, I feel like I'm picking on you, but can you say something?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you're a little muffled, but we can hear you. Brian, can you hear me?
Sorry for the delayed response. Yes, I can.
That's okay. That's okay. There were a lot of people. Okay.
I want to share.
Did you share it already?
We're waiting on Dorian Romero and Carl Benninger.
Lori, can you allow me to share to test my PowerPoint
Yes, you
or my?
Yes.
should be able to click on
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And then
Oh, got it. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try sharing.
perfect.
Yes. Great.
What do you see?
Awesome.
You see the presentation?
Sure do.
Okay,
Looks
I'm gonna
very
stop sharing.
good.
Looks great.
All right, I stopped sharing.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect.
We're waiting on Gary. No, we're waiting on Carl and Dorian.
Yes, that's first.
So that 50,000 should be going somewhere else.
Yeah, I want to talk to Margaret about CDA, so because it will be good for their business outreach to come up with something that would they provide them with some, rooms, something, just something, so that it's another excuse for them to touch the.
Hey, Nabil, we're hearing your conversation,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Just gonna.
Let's see. Go ahead. Janelle, can you hear me?
I can hear everyone, thank you.
I want to see, I like your sweater. What is on that? That's really cool.
Let me tell you, I'm not wearing a sweater. It feels like 100 degrees in here. It's a
Well, it's really-
kimono.
It's very pretty.
Thank you.
I need one of those.
Welcome. Caesar, can you please test your microphone?
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Can you hear us? Can you
Is
hear me,
that
Lori?
Caesar and John?
We can hear Caesar now.
Okay, great.
They fixed it.
John, can you speak? Because we can't hear you.
Daisy, can you hear me?
Just barely.
Yeah.
A little low.
I'm a little loud too, Lori, you know me. Sorry, Lori. Lori, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right.
Commissioner Romero, sound check. Welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
That's great. That'll get my, yeah, I'll move myself in there. If there's any problems, please give us a call at 510.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Appreciate
think
it.
we're ready to go in a few
You
moments.
can just click mute.
We're waiting for Carl.
Oh, and
Chair McLaughlin, we're waiting for Carl Benninger, and I just called him a few moments ago.
So it's like 3:58 since we don't need a quorum because we're not voting anything. Maybe we can start at 4 and let him join us.
1, 2, 3, 4. We have quorum. Yeah, we have a quorum even if we don't vote. So yeah, I guess we can get going right at 4 o'clock. Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, great. Carl, Commissioner Benninger is on. Carl, sound check.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear?
Yes, great. Thank you.
Carl, there's too much blue behind you.
All right, I'll get the actually.
Oh, Carl, I'm joking with you. Carl, I'm joking.
No. I want to brag here for a minute. Now, come December 6th, this is going to get filled
Oh,
by our first grandchild.
It's adorable.
So I can keep this close by. My son-in-law wants to get Ohio State for the little guy, and I will not allow that.
Okay, I believe it's 4 o'clock. Welcome, everyone. It's August 10th, and this is the ETAC meeting. My name is Janelle McLaughlin. I'm chair of ETAC, and that's the Environmental and Transportation Advisory Commission. And the recording secretary, will you please start the meeting?
thank you. Chair McLaughlin, the meeting's now in order. Being recorded, excuse me.
Okay, I would like to call a special ETAC meeting today. And again, at 4 o'clock. And would we ask Carl to do the allegiance, the Pledge of Allegiance for us?
Thank you. Okay, hands over the heart, and everyone together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Carl. And Madam Secretary, may we have roll call?
Commissioner Sandoval Bailon has requested an excused absence, and so has Commissioner Navarro. Commissioner Banninger,
Here,
Commissioner Germain,
Here?
Commissioner Romero,
Present.
Commissioner Wood,
Present.
Chair McLaughlin.
Present.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask the recording secretary to describe the way that the public can access this virtual meeting.
This meeting is being live streamed via the City of Santa Ana portal at www.santa-ana.primegov.com/public/portal. If you would like to provide a public comment, you may do so on the City of Santa Ana portal. Again, www.santa-ana.primegov.com/public/portal. The opportunity to speak is going to follow this comment. If you wish to speak, select the Zoom hand icon to let us know you would like to speak. You will be called upon by the name you entered. You will have 3 minutes to speak, and we will alert you when your time is up.
Okay, do we have any public comments or anyone in our audience that would like to make public comments?
No, there does not appear to be anyone waiting to make a public comment.
Very good. Let's move on to the consent calendar and item 1 and 2, which is excused absences, which we've already done, correct?
Yes.
And then we're going to move on to
The minutes.
the minutes.
Minutes of June 8th, yes, thank you.
And in the approving process, any commissioner that makes approval, would you identify yourself first?
this is Carl Benninger, and I move that we approve the minutes.
Is there a second to that?
This is Commissioner Wood, and I second that motion.
I'm going to repeat the motion and second to approve the consent calendar items 1 and 2. Commissioner Benninger? Commissioner Benninger, who moved?
Correct.
Yes. Commissioner Germain?
No, it was Commissioner Wood. Gary Wood that seconded.
Commissioner Benninger made the motion. Commissioner Wood seconded the motion, and now I'm seeking a total of yes votes and no votes. So Commissioner Benninger was yes. Commissioner Germain?
Yes.
Commissioner Navarro? I'm sorry, Commissioner Navarro is not here. She's absent. Commissioner Romero?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
And Chair McLaughlin?
Correct, yes.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yes. And we have 2 excused absences. Is that right? 5, 6, 7. And the motion passes.
And that brings us to the end of the consent calendar, and we're going to start the business calendar now. And would Nabil be so kind to introduce the item 3, which is the solid waste contract?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chair McLaughlin and members of the commission. Happy to be here. Happy to see everyone. I wish and I hope that this meeting was in person, but due to some technical difficulties, we were not able to do it in person, but we are trying really hard for us to meet next time in person. That being said, I'd like to share my screen for the solid waste contract update. Just let me know, do you see my screen? Okay. Public Works Agency has been really active in the past 3 weeks in reaching out to our community to provide updates on what we've been working on for the last year, which is the solid waste contract. Tonight, I will provide to you an overview on our activities and what has happened or will happen to this contract. As you know, Waste Management is our contractor right now for solid waste. They have been with the city for quite a bit of years. And just recently, we attempted to renew that contract. And in the process, we issue, let me see, how can I do this? An RFP to procure a new contract and new haulers if that's the case. Just to go over the timeline of our activities recently, on June 22nd, we held a work study session with the council, which we provided them with this particular presentation and that I'm using to update you. Between June 23rd and August 16, we are meeting with the community and city council members and making presentation and providing updates on our effort to the community. So on July 20th, council held a public hearing to adopt a resolution of intent to grant a solid waste franchise to any one of the 4 proposers. And that's been done. The 4 proposals are Athens, CR&R, Waste Management, and Republic. On August 17 coming up, the council will be holding a public hearing to adopt a resolution to grant a solid waste franchise agreement to one of the 4 I just named. And in the same time, they will also be authorizing us to proceed with Proposition 218 process to adopt the new rates for the next year. We anticipate that the new service will start July 1, 2022. And our agenda is my presentation, and then I will be open to any questions you may have. In fact, you can still ask me while I'm doing the presentation. Just a piece of information is what I'm providing you here is a high-level summary of the contracts. It is not meant to be a legal representation of the actual documents. The actual contract with the haulers averages 290 pages. So it's a pretty lengthy contract. Again, this is just a summary of what the contract entails. Our presentation is to give you an overview of these contracts and the provisions that are in there. Like I mentioned, Athens Services, CR&R, Republic, and Waste Management are the four companies that are being considered for this contract. Just to get our feel of what we're talking about, a trash cart looks like this, and if you're a residential customer, you're familiar with the cart. That's what you use to dispose of your residential waste. A bin is the steel bins that are normally held or lifted with a fork, some type of a fork system. Their size ranges from 1 to 6 cubic yards. And then we also use a roll-off boxes, and their size really varies between 10 yards to 40 yards. And those are used for construction and big projects, for cleanup projects and demolition and construction. I want to focus a little bit on the RFP. When we wrote the RFP, we divided into certain sections. The first section was to describe the residential type services. we requested that the service for residential customers include a 3-cart automated residential collection service, which includes refuse, recycling, and organics. In the same time, we asked for a senior and mobile home load generator discount, a walkout service for the disabled residents at no charge, a holiday tree collection, on-call bulky item collection, up to 4 pickups per year, up to 4 items each pickup, on-call universal waste collection, residential used oil and oil filter collection program, temporary refuse bin service, and Sharp's email back collection program. Now keep in mind, those are for the residential customers. Transitioning to the multi-family, commercial, and industrial customers, we requested the following: a bin collection service, cart collection service for businesses with no room for bin, source separated recyclables and organics collection service, temporary bin service, permanent and temporary roll-off box service, on-call bulky item collection for multi-family. And I will describe what the proposers have proposed on this particular item, because it's very important for us in Santa Ana. Bulky items tend to be a problem in our streets and our sidewalks, so especially around multi-family residential units. So we wanted the proposers to tell us what program they're offering the city, just to allow for creativity and not to limit the service. We also asked, finally, a multi-family bin customer holiday tree collection. I'm not sure if you are aware, right now, apartment complex residents don't have the ability to dispose of their Christmas trees, so that's going to change. For government operations, we requested the following: city facility refuse, recycling, organics, and e-waste collection service, construction and demolition debris collection service from city government operations, refuse, recycling, and organics collection service for city events, parkway cleanup following quarterly garage sales, weekly alley cleanup. And this is another one of those efforts that we are relying on the new hauler or the hauler to help us clean our alleys. Right now, we do have that service, but it's only twice a month. With the new contract, we're requesting that that service is on a weekly basis. So it's continuous. Every week, they will help us clean our alleys. We also asked for grant administration and battery recycling program for city facilities. For the community, we asked for the following: 300 roll-off boxes per year for neighborhood cleanups, annual household hazardous waste drop-off event, annual shredding event, annual compost giveaway event, environmental ambassador program, 1 full-time recycling coordinator, and funding assistant to the Santa Ana Green Quarterly newsletter. So this was the RFP, and I can say that all of the proposals, or 4 of them, they had no choice. They needed to offer these services, and we are going to get these services through whoever the winning company will be. The terms of the contract, it is a 10-year beginning July 1, 2022, with a mutual option to extend the agreement to up to 5 years. So maximum of 15 years, but also we added on a discretion of the city that we can extend the 15 years to 36 additional months. So it is a lengthy contract. It's for beyond my career here with the city. So, and we also asked for a minimum recycling requirement. There is an administrative vehicle impact and NPDS and franchise fees. There will be an audit every 3 full audit. All carts shall be new at the start of the service in compliance with SB 1383. All route collection vehicles will be year model 2022 or later at the start of the agreement. There will be an education and outreach and implementation program and a faithful performance bond and a letter of credit. Now, the rates proposed by the haulers are going to be fixed the first year, but also they will be adjusted on an annual basis. Like I mentioned, the contract is for 10 years, and therefore we are allowing for adjustment of the pricing or of the rates. So, for example, the residential, multifamily, and commercial service can be adjusted based on the consumer price index, the fuel producer price index for fuel, and it also be adjusted based on the Orange County landfill system ton gate rates. So they will be adjusted as such, and that will apply to all haulers. Every single company will be able to do these adjustments. What I just talked about is the residential, multifamily, and commercial service rates, but also the roll-off boxes will also be adjusted in a similar fashion along with other services that the companies will be providing. The proposed rates. For residential monthly cart rate, this is the service that everyone receives in single-family homes, or up to 3 units, I believe. Service level is 1 refuse cart once per week, 1 recycling cart once per week, and 1 organics cart once per week. For that service, right now the customer in Santa Ana pays $22.57 on a monthly basis. However, the bill is not monthly. Your bill to the home is bi-monthly, so that charge is twice if you're trying to compare pricing. So Athens Services proposed $17.55. Republic proposed $22.94. Waste Management $22.95. CR&R $23.71. The data is ranked from low to high. Any questions so far? No? Okay.
Hi, yes, this is Commissioner Dorian.
Hi.
Would residents choose one of the 4?
No. City Council on the 17th of this month, on next Tuesday, will decide which company to go with. And if they vote to hire Republic, then the pricing will be $22.94. If they select Athens, it's that much, and so forth. The projected residential rates for the first 5 years are as such. For Athens, again, it starts at $17.55, and we assume that the CPI will be 2.5%, and there is addition to that we call Clean City Initiative, and I will touch on that. So those 2 factors will increase the rates on the next 5 years as such. Athens will start at $17.55, and at the beginning of year 5, they will start at $20.35, CR&R $23.71, ending at $27.23, Republic $22.94, $26.70 at the end. Waste Management, they will start at $22.95, ending or starting the year 5 with $26.80. And again, the data is ranked alphabetically by the name.
This is Chair McLaughlin. I do have a question. It's my understanding Athens doesn't have any Orange County contracts at this time.
Yes, that is correct.
And is it folklore that we're hearing that Athens is offering street cleaning along with this contract as free street cleaning?
Not really, no. They have given us a discount, but street sweeping is separate from this contract. We kept it separate because we couldn't combine both at this time. So Athens will be, and under this contract, will be providing us with the solid waste service, while under a different contract, they will continue to do the street sweeping.
At a discount rate if they get this waste management contract, correct?
No, there is no discount anymore. They attempted to do a discount, but we elected to separate both contracts, but their pricing is still one of the lowest.
And why is it one of the lowest? Is because they want the business in Orange County?
Yes, for
and
that.
That's their business model?
Yes, they want the business in Santa Ana, but also they are not as huge as the other three in terms of size, and they are not corporate, so they are able to probably reduce cost in some areas and be more efficient.
So when you say not corporate, they're non-union and the other three are union?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nabil, this is Commissioner Jermaine. I have a question.
Sure.
So back to the cost effects to bring the price lower for one of the proposers. Is there something in place where they're following area standard wages on that?
Pretty much.
And then also the calculation where it comes to logistics with moving waste and disposal to outside areas. How it's surprising how the number is still so much lower than some of the three local contractors, and also it's already established that those local contractors have local residents working for them. So how could one be beneficial at the lower rate?
I can take an attempt and answer your question, and I have Christy Kendick can also chime in on it. I know that Athens is a company that is privately owned, and however, we have a slide on wages and how much they pay their employees. It is within the ballpark of the others, and benefits too. They're all in the same. That is one item that the council members on the ad hoc committee focused on, trying to figure out why Athens is the lowest. But we looked at those wages, we looked at the benefits, and they're all within the ballpark for all four providers. And I have a slide for that. They are efficient. They want the business in Santa Ana. They're competitive, and they have to comply with all of the provisions that are in the contract, just like everyone else. So there is no, there's no cutting corners of any kind, because we will hold them responsible to the contract and compliance. It's not a matter of just doing business here. They have to comply with Cal Recycle provisions, and they have done that in the LA County. And I have Christy also that can.
I would just like to add to that, as you know, in any business, when somebody is proposing to get business, they determine what kind of profit margin they have, and they may be willing to have a reduced profit margin to get to Santa Ana and to have the contract. It's just a choice in their business model. Also, as far as the disposal of all the solid waste collected, the trash must remain in Orange County. We have a solid waste agreement with the county, so it will go into our local landfill. And we would assume that if they got the contract, that they would do their best to negotiate with local material recovery facilities, so they would not be hauling anything back to out of the county. And I think in one of their presentations, they did mention having a location in Anaheim as a yard. So if that's who gets the contract, I would imagine that's the way the business model is. With the other haulers, they already have their infrastructure here in Orange County.
Thank you.
This is,
Additional
oh,
question.
sorry.
In addition, so the rates that is presented to us right now on screen, the first year is fixed, but thereafter the second and so on is flexible to consumer index?
Yes, and that applies to all of them. Plus I want to note too, plus the cost of the Clean City initiatives. And there is a factor that I will be talking about in a few slides.
And I just want to add that in our current contract with Waste Management, there is a CPI adjustment calculation that's made each year. So this is not new.
Thank you.
Sure. Chair?
So I think he answered. So year 2, you have the 4 ways they can raise: consumer index, fuel, gate rates, and everything else. And so you just put in estimates in our chart right now, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So the next slide is where I am showing the percent proposed increases, provided that it's 2.5% for the, no, actually this is for the Clean City initiatives. And I will go into that in a moment. We asked for additional services from all 4 haulers to help us keep the city of Santa Ana clean. So Athens came back and made an estimate of what these initiatives will cost and proposed, for example, 4% followed by 1% increase in year 2 and 3. CR&R is 2% year 2 and year 3. For Republic, it was 1% followed by 2.25%, 2.25%, and then for Waste Management, they proposed 2% followed by 4.2% increase. Now, if I combine the CPI with these increases, this is the proposed percentage increase for the 4 haulers. So, like I said, it starts with the initial addition of the 2.5% plus the Clean City initiatives, and then once the Clean City initiative percent increases expire, we will be going back to the CPI, which in this case assumed to be at 2.5%.
We wouldn't be going back.
So, any question on this? Okay, so those are the increases, and I will go back to the Clean City initiative in a minute. For example, the commercial cart rate that they proposed, for example, this is for commercial establishment that uses carts with the service level having 1 refuse cart once a week, picked up once a week, and 1 organics, 1 recycling. Right now, customers in Santa Ana pay $133.20. Athens estimate came to be, or no, rate will be $85. Waste Management $115.93. CR&R $158.99, followed by Republic Service of $250. And the data is ranked from low to high. For a 3 cubic yard temporary bin, the rates are the proposed rates are for Athens 95, CR&R 101, Waste Management $131, yes, Republic Services $151. Right now, our city customers pay $97.50 for that service. For the multi-family residential service, that is the apartments, for example, with a service level of a 3-yard refuse bin twice a week, a 3-yard recycling bin once a week, and 1 organics cart once a week. The charge for Republic would be $562, CR&R $575, Athens Services $597, Waste Management $630. Right now, a similar service, our customers are paying $448.64. For commercial bin service, The service level here is a 3-yard refuse once a week, 3-yard recycling once a week, 2-yard organics once a week. The proposed rates from Republic is $424, Athens Services $449, Waste Management $454, CR&R $459, and the equivalent service right now, our customers are paying $388.19. Roll-off rates also the same. The pricing ranged for CR&R from $496 to $667. Right now, our customers pay $584.31. For a construction and demolition, a 3 cubic yard bin, Athens 95, Republic 175, and currently customers pay $145.21. For mixed construction and demolition, up to 8 tons, CR&R 594, Athens Services 679. Right now, customers pay $635, 18 cents. Anything over 8 tons, Waste Management charges $63.50. Republic Services charges $104.73. Right now, our customers are paying $64.28. So those, this is a flavor of the charges that what was proposed by the different haulers and how they compare to each other. This list is not meant to be comprehensive because different commercial establishments require a different level of service. So there is variation on what the pricing will be based on the service being asked for and provided. Construction and demolition service will be included in this contract. The billing, the city will continue to bill its residents. Like for those of you that live in a single family home or residential house, residential customer, you will continue to receive the city bi-monthly bill that includes water, refuse, and such. The contractor will be billing monthly commercial, multifamily, and industrial establishment, including construction and demolition services and those other things. Any questions so far on this before I go into the revenue? Cool. For the revenue, it's a big contract. So we made estimates on how much each provider or hauler will be able to bring in terms of billing. Athens Services is $57 million in 1 year. Republic Services will be billing up $59 million. CR&R also $59 million, a little bit above Republic, but not much. And Waste Management also $59 million, a little bit above CR&R, but not much. The data is ranked from low to high. And so it is a big contract. It's about, like you see here, about $60 million contract on an annual basis. Over 10 years, it will be, just multiply that number by 10. And I wanted to bring your attention to the percent increase from lowest. As you can see, the difference between how much these different providers or haulers will be bringing in terms of revenue is very tight. It's very close to each other, which really is something that we are happy with at the city, which really means to us that we have run a good RFP process and all 4 haulers sharpened their pencils really hard, and we worked with them on refining the rates. And I believe that Santa Ana is getting one of the best contracts for solid waste, regardless on which hauler we pick. As far as equipment, we requested that the fuel to be CNG, and they provided that. All equipment will be model 2022. The carts will be new, the bins will be new, except for Waste Management, because they are already in the city. They propose to use existing bins.
Excuse me, Nabil. I don't know what what does CNG mean?
Okay, compressed natural gas. RNG is renewable natural gas. So it's the clean type of hydrocarbon gas that is commonly used actually in the street sweepers right now. That's what they use.
Actually, in the.
And
in
waste
the,
management.
Yes. In the
And waste
truck
management
trucks.
also uses CNG trucks. So they're already complying, I can tell you that. Reference check, we conducted the reference check through our consultant. Athens Services scored 4.1, CR&R scored 3.8, Waste Management 3.6, Republic Services scored 2.9 out of 5.
Neville, I do have a question. That rating, it amazes me Republic is that low. Is there anything that caused them to come that low compared to everybody else?
There was a questionnaire. Our consultant did the survey, and there was set questions, and most of these entities were other cities and municipalities that they were surveyed, and that was the result. A proposer offered enhancement. So each of the 4 haulers offered their own enhancement to the contract. Athens Services offered the following: a 10 free bulky item pickup per quarter per dwelling unit for multi-family residential residents. $48 per item if they exceed the 10 per quarter, which means if you live in an apartment, you have 10 times 4 mattresses to throw away for free. So that's quite a bit. It's more than what we have right now for sure. But that's the example. Athens also offered a free illegal dumping pickup to the current level of volume that in the city at $125 per hour for volumes exceeding this level. Education and outreach recycling program for City of Santa Ana businesses. Procure compost on behalf of the city to meet recovered organic waste product procurement requirement. Displaced employees will receive equal or higher wages, a potential sign-on bonus, and additional bonus after 12 months. They offered 6 environmental managers to oversee the trash hauling and the Clean City Initiatives program. All Clean City initiatives will be performed in-house. So those are the additions that Athens offered. CR&R Environmental offered the following. They provided 3 full-time recycling coordinators, a part-time internships for Santa Ana students, a minimum of 1 tour per month of CR&R's anaerobic digestion facility, including lunch and, if requested, guest lecturer. A lightweight RNG powered collection vehicle and RFID residential car tags. It provide 2 trucks and crews dedicated to the collection of illegally dumped items, 80 hours per week, 4 bulky item pickups per year per multi-family units, up to 4 items per pickup. This is like 4 times 4, that is 16 large pickup items for apartment dwellers to be able to dispose of at no charge. That is an improvement for us, again, in Santa Ana. Partner with a third party to support community organization, offered to provide street sweeping when the current contract expires in 2024 at 2.25% increase in rates. Qualified employees will be provided with offer letters of employment, and Clean City Initiative services will be in cooperation with the Goodwill Industries. That's CR&R. Republic Services offered the following: 3 full-time recycling coordinators.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but back to CR&R, I had a question on that. The second from last bullet, where it talks about qualified employees will be provided with offer letter of employment. Is that specific to Santa Ana residents, or is that just in general?
I think it's in general, but also specific in the same time, Santa Ana resident. They are willing to rehire those employees that will be losing their jobs due to waste management not being in town.
And so CNR is directly capable of doing that? Are any of the other proposers also capable, or is there any that are not?
I believe, each one of them offered some level of back hire of laid off employees and give opportunities to those will lose their job due to the loss of waste management's contract, if that happens in Santa Ana.
And we required that as part of the RFP, that they would consider any displaced workers, in addition to the fact that any one of these proposers, if they got the contract, they would need to hire drivers and other staffers. And the best, smartest thing is always to hire the people that know the city.
And so, from my understanding, CR&R is currently under a collective bargaining agreement. How would a contractor who is not associated with that collective agreement be able to continue, same benefits as it may be for those displaced employees?
Yeah, they will provide the similar benefits, not necessarily the same, but if you're assuming that if Athens comes in, is that what you're thinking?
I'm assuming if any of them aren't associated with the same, benefits and accounts, how could they still recruit? How could that displaced employee still recoup and recover from being laid off if those benefits that are already set up do not continue? But
I want to say something about that. The three haulers that are that are unionized, each one of them has a different union agreement with the same union. Each hauler negotiates differently. So, but they're very similar. And then Athens is not in the union, but their wages are similar. Do we have that?
Yeah, we have
that screen. We have a screen up here with a comparison that he can show you.
So
do you want to continue?
Yeah, let me continue to the other two, and then we'll jump into the benefits.
Yeah.
Republic Services. Sure. Republic Services offer the following: 3 full-time recycling coordinators, $200,000 per year to select community events, a representative to join the Kiwanis, Santa Ana Chamber of Commerce, and OC Human Relations Commission. Republic will provide a donation of $10,000 per year to sponsor city events. Republic will work with the Illumination Foundation to provide 150 new lockable cards for Santa Ana residents experiencing homelessness to secure storage of belongings. Also, they offer the school tutoring support for each high school through Henry Nicholas Academic Center. Collect illegally dumped items within 24 to 48 hours. The drivers will report illegally dumped items, procure compost and RNG, renewable natural gas, to assist city in meeting compliance requirements. 10 free bulky item pickups per quarter per dwelling unit for multifamily residents. This equal 40 pieces of furniture, whatever, bulky items that can be picked up. Work with the city to prepare a viable plan for acquiring and integrating displaced qualified workers. Clean City Initiative services will be performed by Republic and a subcontractor. third-party diversion tracking through the use of the Recyclist data management tool, in addition to the offering of an electric refuse vehicle pilot program. That's for Republic. For waste management, they offer the following: 2 full-time recycling coordinators, third-party diversion tracking through the use of Recyclist data management tool. Waste management will collect illegally dumped items within 48 hours of notification, service by request, unlimited bulky item pickup to multi-family properties through on-call scheduling or designated collection days. Will utilize the same truck used for servicing illegal dumping. Waste management will procure renewable natural gas on behalf of the city. They will provide carts that have RFID features, will continue to use old bins, and clean city initiatives will be performed by a subcontractor.
Excuse me, Nabil. There was a raised hand by Commissioner Germain. I don't know if you're going to take the question now or at the end.
Sure. Yeah, we'll take questions right now.
My apologies. That raised question was back when, that raised hand was back when we were talking about CR&R. Thank you.
And we will talk a little bit more about the wages and benefits in a minute. So.
Understood. Thank you.
The ad hoc committee request for information. As you know, the mayor assigned an ad hoc committee to study and be updated on the contract itself and the provisions of the agreements. And the ad hoc committee had 10 follow-up questions and items that wanted to get more information about. And those are, they asked about additional wage and employment information, which was provided, or will be provided in the next slide. They also inquired about the facilities and listing of those subject to code enforcement. They inquired about the use of GPS in collection vehicles, the capital equipment purchases locations for tax purposes, description of proposed green practices, description of proposers, emergency preparedness, a listing of legal issues, listing of campaign or other contributions to city officials, provide a rate for neighborhood trash container collections, and information regarding vehicle fires and accidents. All of these were inquired about. We obtained the information from the hauler, provided that information to the ad hoc committee, and they were satisfied with the answers. One of the key items was the additional wage and employment, and I'll have a table on that one, I think. Yeah, additional wage and employment information. There were 6 categories. We asked the providers on the following: the average hourly wage. Athens Services was the highest at $26.91. CR&R had $25.33. Republic Services $25.45. Waste Management $25.18. And again, that's the average hourly wage. As far as average wage, payroll tax, and employee benefit for Athens was $35.73. CR&R $36.20. Republic Services $37.94. Waste Management was $38. We asked whether the employees are represented by collective bargaining agreement. They all said yes, except for Athens. We also asked about the tenure, or the average tenure of drivers. Athens was 10, CR&R was 14, Republic Services was 16.2 years, and Waste Management was the longest, 23.4 years. And then we also asked a question: will you provide a preferential employment opportunities to qualified City of Santa Ana resident? And I know that is one of Council's highest priority, and the answer for that was yes for all of them. Any questions on that?
Nabil, Commissioner Germain.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
I made the slide for you.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
My question is in regards to the average hourly wage. Is that something that, as it does for the consumer price index, is renegotiated for the employees on a periodic basis or per a contract? And how are wage increase? I guess how often are they brought up? I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, that is not a provision of our agreement with them. This was an inquiry on how even the average wage between the different haulers, but it wasn't, and it is not in the agreement that this is not a collective bargaining agreement. So this information came to us because we asked for it. It's not in the agreement. But yeah.
Okay, so I guess
they're not indexed. Those wages are not linked to any index like the CPI or so. I don't think they are.
No, I think it would be a component of the bargaining agreement that the haulers have with their employees.
Okay, so I'm looking at a more structured wage increase, just like the consumer price index has a structured service increase. The employees, some employees may not have that.
Right. That was not part of the agreement. We did not put that in as a condition of the agreement that they have to increase the. Is that what you're asking? You wanted to see if the CPI is also linked to the wages, correct?
Yeah. Basically what I was getting at is the displaced workers that live within Santa Ana. Will they be in a fixed pay rate, or will their pay rate increase as we know? The index increases as well. So cost of living goes up. Is it negotiable for them to still sustain a livable wage under this contract, or will they be in a fixed?
Yeah, that was not negotiated, but like Christy mentioned, for those companies that have collective bargaining, most likely there is something for the employee. As far as Athens, it's market for them. I guess that to keep their employees, they have to keep them happy, right? So.
Yeah, and if you look at how close those amounts are, they're all being competitive. They're very close to each other.
Okay, we'll go to. You're welcome. I know you guys been asking about what is this Clean City Initiative, right? Okay, so I'll give you a little background. Those initiatives were requested by the mayor pro tem, and the council members. They were directed and guided by the city manager and the executive management team. And those initiatives were supported by all haulers or proposers. They provide comprehensive right-of-way cleaning. They were developed by city staff and refined by our consultant. They target heavily traveled locations, industrial and business districts, and hotspots. Service locations can and will vary based on city right-of-way cleaning needs. Most of these services are a 6-day per week service. All proposers responded and will be able to provide these services. These services will be phased over a 24 months, 2 year period. Like we've seen those increases where year 2, year 3, that's why you see the little delay, but also the increases over a few years. The Clean City Initiatives enhancement are as such: site-specific litter cleaning and bulky item removal. This program would be proactive and on-call, as indicated by an area supervisor and by driver and the city. So the expectation is the waste hauler will be actually driving the city looking for litter to clean and bulky items to pick up, actively 6 days a week. We also have a right-of-way trash container service and cleaning. We asked for 250, what I call right-of-way trash containers. And those will be containers that are weighted, placed on the sidewalk for them to be cleaned and picked up on a daily basis, 6 days a week. And they will be located in hotspots, areas where there is a lot of traffic, and not necessarily next to, but can be to bus stops and bus shelters. We also asked for an integration with a work order app. Some of you I know use the My Santa Ana. So now if you use in a year, if you use the My Santa Ana reporting a bulky item or some trash in the street, that request will go directly to the waste hauler and the city, whoever responds first. We also asked for a sidewalk litter and debris cleaning service of the hardscape. We also asked for a sidewalk power washing, porter service, and a service for washing and sanitizing of all bins once per year upon customer request. And those for the bins, by the way. And then we also requested a clean city initiative for businesses. So again, we are really proud of this program. I think it's going to make a huge difference in helping us clean the city. And that, again, in addition to the alley program that we talked about earlier. Again, this is a summary of what the rate adjustment for the Clean City initiatives. Like we said, the first year, there was some increases. Athens, 4% at first year, 1% next year, and so forth for the rest of them. So that's what the cost of these services will be. Next step is on August 17, City Council will hold a public hearing to adopt a resolution to grant a solid waste franchise agreement to one of the 4 proposers and authorize us to adjust the rates for the next year through Proposition 218 process. And now I'm open for more questions.
This is Commissioner White. A lot of my questions were answered as you went through the presentation. Thank you. But I wonder if you could just tell us very briefly, what is the...
Excuse me, Commissioner Wood, would you speak up? You're very inaudible.
Can you hear me better now?
Not so much.
Well, that's a shame.
It is what it is. Okay.
Can you briefly tell us about the Prop 218 process?
Sure. Thank you for the question. The 218 process includes a notification, a formal notification to all property owners in the city. What we do is we mail a notification that describes the proposed rates, and we give the customers 45 days from the day we notify them or we mail those notices to the 45,000 customers that we have in the city. After 45 days, the City Council will hold a public hearing to consider the rate changes. Now, by Proposition 218, half of the 45,000 need to protest the increases or the adjustment in the rates for it to fail. Otherwise, the City Council have the authority, the members of the City Council have the authority to approve the rates as such. Once the rates are approved by City Council, they become effective on the day that we say will become effective, which in our case here, it will be July 1 of 2022. So it is a formal process, there is a public hearing, there is a formal notification that to be held, and a public hearing, a protest vote by the residents if they don't like the increases or the adjustments.
Okay, thank you very much.
And it's good for 5 years, by the way. You're welcome.
Nabil, this is
Commissioner Jermaine, go ahead.
Yes, this is Commissioner Jermaine. I have a few questions that I wanted to touch on. So, will the service schedule change in any aspect to the residents as far as dates that are already set that we already have in place? Will those be adjusted and or reduced as far as extending into Saturdays?
So those service schedules, all the routing will be adjusted based on the proposer's routing methods. They all use software, and they will lay out the city in the manner that they believe is the most efficient. But we don't tell them that they have to do routing in a specific order, because they do it for efficiency. So how they keep their costs low. So yes, it is absolutely likely that service times will be adjusted. What did you say about a Saturday?
Would that roll over into like some Saturday pickups, or will we do the best that we can Monday through Friday?
Not for residential curbside service. And then of course the multifamily and the commercial service is based on need and how much capacity they need during the week. And it will all be worked out, but it's something that the customer it'll be good for the customer.
So it could be possible that that proposer or the contractor that takes the RFP or the contract, I'm sorry, may do some additional hiring to their routes and their services. Is that possible for Santa Ana residents?
To hire more, it's possible. I mean, if let's make the assumption that Waste Management get the contract, then I think very little will happen in terms of the service level, because they already set in routings. They know the city very well. They've been serving the city for many, many years. So maybe some refinement and compliance issues with SB 1383. So those are the type of adjustment that we expect. But for the newer ones, CR&R, Republic, Athens, they're going to study the city and decide what routing methods they have best that fits their model. And they may, for commercial, like Christy mentioned, they may do a Saturday pickup. It depends on the service level that the customer is asking for or need.
Yeah, and many customers already have Saturday pickup because it works for them. So that maybe a 3-time-a-week service, they might want Monday, Wednesday, and a Saturday, so that they spread their pickup over the week to get always as much as they can. And so, that you can expect that to continue. What happens is all of the routing that is currently happening, and all the service level that is being provided, the current customers will be provided to the proposer. If it's a new proposer, they will have all that information, and they will use that to do their routing. So they're going to mirror the same service as best as possible.
And now, would logistics, as far as location of these contractors, and if they have any interruption as far as getting to our city to service, how would that be remedy in the situation if they're traveling from afar and there's for whatever reason their vehicles can't make it down to our city? How do we recover? We just call it a day of absence?
Sure. The only one that is local is Waste Management, but Republic, CR&R, they both come from other cities to service, and the same thing with Athens. They come from some other place other than Orange County right now, but they all experience and will have to travel to get to Santa Ana. And we'll see if Athens is selected, we'll see what they're proposed in terms of efficiencies. They're more likely to come in and set up shop somewhere in Orange County, just as I don't want to call it a garage kind of a situation where their vehicles will be parked there, but no transfer of trash or anything like that. They will have to come in closer. to serve the city. So that's what they will be doing if they're selected in the first year. And again, Republic and CR&R Republic, I believe they have yard in Anaheim, and CR&R is also Stanton. So they are within Orange County.
And sorry, I do have a few questions. But continuing, so is there talks of electric trucks or vehicles being utilized and going outside of or beyond CNGs? Yeah,
nothing substantial. I believe that Republic Services is bringing in a demo vehicle for Santa Ana that is electric, but that's the only offer that we had is from Republic, and nothing substantial. I don't expect that one vehicle out of maybe 50 or so needed to serve the city will make a big dent, but there will be a pilot.
You know, the reason why I bring that up is because, you know, still, even though CNG is more desirable or supposedly friendlier to the environment than our traditional gasoline or diesel, electric seems to be more suitable for the future and now, right?
Sure.
I know we have several battery storage centers here in the city of Santa Ana, and also throughout Orange County that are being brought up. So, you know, since they're being put in place, are we going to utilize it, you know, for a cleaner environment for a city?
Sure. Sure, that's always a consideration. We're hoping that technology would improve that. The CNGs will be converted to electric vehicles. But let me just bring the point out here is as long as your electricity is coming from the solar, then you're okay. But not all of the electricity comes from solar. There is a gas-fired or coal-fired power plant somewhere that's burning fuel somewhere to provide that electricity. So you are basically shifting the CNG from a mobile unit to a stationary unit somewhere else in the country. So those electrons are not, unless they're coming from the sun, they are being generated by a CNG or petroleum-based power plant or nuclear. But, you know, there is, people don't think about where the electricity is coming from. It does come from, for the most part, natural gas-fired power generation stations.
So it isn't totally clean.
So and the biggest problem for the batteries that you're talking about, Commissioner Jermaine, is I believe that Japan is having big issues with disposal of these batteries. They don't know what to do with them.
That understood.
I would just, Susan Brian, can I jump in quickly?
Yeah, jump in there. Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I just would like to point out that the RCR, whatever, with that digester is actually generating the natural gas that they're going to burn by digesting our various waste on it. And I don't know, Nabil, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I know a little bit about it, Carl, and I would prefer that we talk to someone from CR&R to give us a full perspective on it. You and I are chemical engineers, and we are fascinated with the process, but I don't know enough about it. But I know they do generate natural gas, and they put it in the pipeline, I believe. But that's all I know. Maybe we could both reach out to CR&R and ask more questions.
Let's keep our questions within our ETAC responsibilities and our city responsibilities for time. Dorian, you have a question and your hand is raised. May I recognize you? Or Brian, are you still asking questions?
Yes, I have one last one, Chairman. My question is for this contract and the services that are going to be provided, and also the I guess, additional services and bonuses? Is there a probation period of the expectations, and what do we do if they aren't met?
Wow.
There is no probationary period. They better be up and running day one. We have a number of different abilities within the contract to make sure that they are performing, and we will be on that. So there is no probationary period. They will be active and doing it on day one, whoever we choose.
The reason why I asked that is because I just want
Employees.
What were you saying about?
I'm sorry. The reason why I ask that is because I just want to be certain that this contractor is held accountable for what they had presented to the city. So, thank you for answering.
Sure.
Recognizing Dorian, Romero.
Hi. First, are the organics bins a new thing?
I'll let Christine.
Okay, so based on AB 1826, which was the first organics compliance mandate that they issued, we've always done some organics. There is mandatory commercial and multifamily organics. However, Senate Bill 1383 also includes a mandatory residential organics program. So the organics has been there, but it will now be expanded and it'll change. And it will also include more things. So for instance, for residential curbside service where you have a green waste bin, that will now be an organics bin. And so it will likely have green waste, food soiled, paper, things like that. But it just depends on the way in which each proposer proposed to do the service.
Okay, my follow-up question to that is if the contractors could provide additional education on how to compost and the importance of composting. I see that Athens has education and outreach recycling program for Santa Ana businesses, but I think that if it is going to be expanded, people might need more education on composting, and also if the contractors can inform the city on what they will do with the compost, because there are a few community gardens in Santa Ana as well as the Crece garden that could use the compost. So if there's some sort of communication about that, but
So
definitely the education.
Absolutely.
Right. So we'll be doing a very expansive education and outreach program well before the contract rollout. We'll meet with all the neighborhood associations that want to meet with us, business groups as well, to talk about each one of those. And then one of the items we added to the contract was an annual compost giveaway. So those gardens that you mentioned will be absolutely eligible.
In fact, there's a note that I think those waste haulers have more compost that can be given away.
Right.
So there's so much of it. So we will make sure that residents in Santa Ana have plenty of compost, and we'll make sure that happens.
Right.
So, and education on how to compost. So we'll include that too. Absolutely.
Chairman McLaughlin with the 2 questions. I noticed Athens did talk about education to businesses and pointed it directly to that, whereas the other ones pointed to students or schools or internships and everything else. And Athens had a total void of that. I remember back in the day when throwing trash out your window, they were doing that program, and instead they started out with the school so the kids could tell their parents what should be done. So I think it's very important that the students have the opportunity. Can Athens be added for some level of education or the same way as the other ones have noted?
So as far as education and outreach, we have a specifically designed program to outreach to businesses and multifamily. And because of the mandates, what we do is we try to provide free technical assistance. So they'll get a free waste audit. They'll have someone go out and evaluate what it is they're generating, what kind of service levels would work for them to implement, how best to save money in that combination. Also, there is training available to employees, signage, things like that, to make sure that their transition is as easy as possible. When it comes to the schools, we can ask the schools if we can participate with them, but we have to be invited to participate with them because they're a state agency, and they are not part of our contract. They contract separately. So yes,
I thoroughly understand that, and I apologize, but if you go into CRR, they're talking about internships, they're talking about tours of their facility, they're talking about specific programs that they're offering and reaching out to students. So what my understanding is, wouldn't they at the point of public works, then you reach out to the schools under that, or does CRR reach out to the schools directly, or how does that work? And that's what I'm saying, is that 2 of your suppliers have aggressively gone into education of youth, and your Athens is not going into any education of youth. So that was my question of that whole chart there of all the student things that they were going to do. So you're saying that the school district has to ask for those things that CRR are offering, and we as a city don't go out and say, would you like to have a tour?
No, it is not that way, but we have to do it at their pleasure. So typically the hauler communicates with the school district and offers to do different things. They also work with other organizations and after-school programs and things like that. They offer, pretty much all of the haulers offer tours of their facilities. The one that you identified as far as internships, that was an enhancement that they offered, but these are now fully negotiated contracts, so we can't go back and we can ask them if they might want to do some of those things, but we can't direct them to do them.
So those enhancements are already in if you choose that particular vendor. Yes. That enhancement is there.
Yes.
Okay. And then the next thing is that the dumping on weekends in Santa Ana, being a resident that lives and works here, is that the mattress hauling in the alleyways and everything is the worst on weekends because there's nobody in the offices or in the industrial parks. So there's nobody proactively watching that for the weekends. You're saying that's only 5 days a week, correct?
No, that's actually 6 days a week. So that would absolutely happen on a Saturday.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome. Bye, Christine. Well, we lost Christy. You have me.
So the prince is here and the princess had to leave.
Okay.
Okay, so is this the time? Is there any other questions from any of our other commissioners? So this is the time. Well, I guess it's the time to feed my puppy, but this is also the time to note that this is received and filed by ETAC. Correct?
Yes.
So then we're moving on for any comments for our commissioners, our staff, or any, are we ready for that, Nabil, to go through that process?
It's just that, you know, like an update, we have been very busy with the solid waste. We're hoping that this contract be behind us, and we're hoping that the city council members will make the selection of one of the 4 haulers. Like I mentioned to the electeds, that they're all qualified. All 4 haulers are capable of serving Santa Ana, and we're just anxious to select one. And I would encourage you to reach out to our electeds to encourage them to understand your priority and what you would like to see in these contracts, so they vote the way you like them to vote. And with that, I'm hoping that we go back to normal next ETAC meeting and be in person. I'm looking forward for that, and resume our normal punch items that we need to do as far as ETAC is concerned. With that, I conclude my comments.
Okay, how would we like to start the commissioners? Commissioner Germain, would you like to have any final comments before we close the meeting?
Yes, I'd like to ask if we have, well, I don't know if I can ask or state it as a comment for something, in the future, but I ran across some information about a gold spotted oak borer, and I just want to know.
I can't hear you. A gold spotted what, sir?
Oak borer, like a beetle, like an insect.
Oh, the beetles that are killing the trees?
Correct. Not, I'm just, I've been on this commission for a year. I don't know if that was something brought up before joining the commission, but if there's any feedback that we can learn more and what we can do or prepare for, or at least what we've done to remedy.
Will do.
Just Commissioner, just a bit of clarity. What beetle are we talking about? Because there are potentially hundreds of beetles. So do you have any idea what would like us to focus on? We have performed some spraying for aphids or polyphagous shot-hole borer beetles in the past, for oak beetles, things of that nature in the past. So there's a variety, and these are cyclical and seasonal. So it could be quite a large task if we're not kind of narrowed down on your request, which we could look into.
All right, thank you. So I believe the name of this beetle that I learned of is called gold spotted oak borer, and they're Prispid beetle. They largely had an impact in San Diego County. And so I just wanted to know if we're prepared and ready, or have remedy, this, any kind of impact that this beetle may have to our city.
Will do.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Commissioner Wood.
I had directed a question earlier to Lori about the uneven pavement on Alton. Did that get answered?
Yes, we received an answer from our utility, the water department, and it looks like it's a repair that was done, and they have some issues that needed to be resolved before the final paving is done. And they anticipate the final paving to be done in a month, 30 days. And it will be fixed in 30 days. But it is a city trench or excavation, and it will be, again, corrected within 30 days or so.
Another question, what happened to the election for the chair and vice chair? Is that postponed until indefinite?
Yes, we will tackle that in the next meeting. We did lose a commissioner.
Right.
And so we were hoping that we would go back to the election next meeting.
Okay, and one final question. I noticed that this is still called a special meeting. I thought the city council voted on our change last month. No.
No, we did not take those changes to the council yet. We would like to discuss those with you again before we take it to council again. So,
Thank you.
because there were some questions that were not answered that would like to at least clarify the changes and make sure that you guys are on board with what we are taking to council.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Romero? Did I make a mistake?
I don't have any
hello.
comments at the moment.
Very good. Commissioner Benninger?
Thank you. I really want to commend Nabel and especially Christie. This contract's been under discussion for 6 years, kicked down the road by previous councils. I'm very glad that it's coming to fruition. And Nabel, when this is over and done with, we're gonna have a glass of champagne and say hooray on it.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it is really good. We do need to get together. There's a number of things we need to discuss. One is officers and elections, but also what's going around the city. And one thing I'm going to bring up, Nabel, you may want to comment now, the lift station that's being built on Segerstrom and Bristol. I see that completion date moving month by month on this electrical sign, and now I understand there's some financial difficulty with the general with that. Do you have any comment where we stand with that lift station?
Yes, basically, we have sent a letter to cure to the contractor, which means he is not responsive to the work anymore. And our plan is to go after the surety to complete the work. So there is he has faced financial difficulties and cannot continue with the work. So you will see that nothing is happening right now until we resolve the legal issues with the surety and the contractor. So we're waiting for the surety to respond to us in terms of how we can want to continue with the work and finish up the construction of the sewage lift station. Unfortunately, that what happens. I want to attribute that to COVID, but it's been a struggle with us to get him back to do the work. Financially, he cannot come back and do the work.
Okay. Right now, is the new station functioning, or are we still working on the old station?
We are relying on the old station, which you don't see, but a panel above ground on the Bristol. So this new station will replace the existing one, but things happened, and unfortunately, we're having to deal with these issues with the contractor. When we first brought him on board, he was very strong, capable, but COVID, I don't know what else, financially, he got in trouble with another project in Northern California, and that affected his performance here, and here we are. You know, unfortunately, these things happen. We don't like to see them happen, but you know, we have we have to do with the legal issue.
Yeah, I know it's part of life. Just curious where we stand with that. Also, I enjoyed being part of planting a tree in one of the neighborhoods. And is there any way we can expand so other commissioners get that opportunity?
Sure. It is a planning issue, and I will work with our tree department and Pedro to let you know on when is the next tree planting is, and we'll let you know when we're doing those. I know that Pedro has done quite a bit of tree planting. His target was to plant, I want to say, 300 trees in a period of 18 months, and he's very close to it. I think last time I talked to him, and he's on this call, he is about 25 trees away from completing the 300. So, and that was 3 weeks ago. So he may have planted all of them. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think that should be a good topic in our next meeting. What,
sure.
And we're really going to propose, I think a lot of us have ideas of what topics we'd like to hear. And I would suggest that please write them down and send them in to Janelle, and then she can go from there on it. It's getting late. I just want to say one thing so people know.
Excuse me, Carl, did you say Janelle?
Janelle, you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You don't look honored, but but anyway, I just want to let people know, Peter Katz, who's our president of Comlink, and you see me at council meetings with him all the time. Unfortunately, he's in the hospital. We don't know why. He was found unconscious on last week, Tuesday, and got him over to Garden Grove Community. It appears right now, and of course, I'm not family, so I'm only gathering what I can from the doctors, but it looks like his kidneys stopped functioning, and obviously when your kidneys don't function, you don't clean your blood, and that appears to be the major problem. And he's slowly making progress, but keep him in your thoughts and prayers. I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Will do.
So we have all of our commissioners, because Nancy's not here, and Commissioner Navarro. So all of our commissioners had a choice to comment. Okay, our past commissioner, Larry Klein, had asked me for an organizational chart because we saw a great organizational chart on a slide last year, and I did not have a hard copy of that organizational chart. So I asked him to give Michelle a call, and I think Michelle is on this as well. And so I guess Michelle checked with her supervisor, and her supervisor said that you couldn't provide an organizational chart to Dr. Klein, and that it was on the website, but we could not find it on the website. So Dr. Klein asked for a Freedom of Information Act request for a Public Works organizational chart, and he got back that there is no organizational chart for Public Works. But okay. I do remember a great presentation, Nabil, that had an organizational chart when we were meeting together. Maybe it was a year and a half ago. Can you update me on where we find an organizational chart for Public Works?
If I can also share McLaughlin, that is correct. Larry did contact me regarding the organizational chart for Public Works, and I did ask my supervisor to send that to him, and they were updating it. But my supervisor also advised me that he's more than welcome to have the organizational chart, but he needs to submit a public records request, which Larry did. But because the Public Works organizational chart has not been completely updated, they have 10 days to respond to his request. And they're anticipating having it updated before the end of the week. So they will be.
So the organizational chart that we reviewed over a year ago does not exist anymore. I mean, it had blanks in it, but it was still an organizational chart. So that's not the same one that's in action right now.
Let me go back and see what we shared with you about a year ago, like you mentioned, and we will update that one and we'll provide it to you. I'm not really sure.
Provide it to Dr. Klein, please.
Okay, will do.
Because I didn't have a hard copy of it, and I thought I did, and I actually thought I took a picture of it, and I wasn't that well organized.
Okay, we'll go back and see what we shared with the commission on what type of organization chart that we have presented to you, and we'll reproduce that for him and update it.
But that's a lot of work. I'm just going to say, talking to Michelle, going to the supervisor, being told to go back to the website, then being told to file a Freedom of Information, request. So there are no organizational charts that can be given out to the public unless they file a Freedom of Information Act request. Executive Director.
Well, this chart can be functional, and we can provide you with a functional organization chart, sure. And that's what we do.
Very good. So I'd like to conclude our meeting today and adjourning our prayers for Mr. Peter Katz. He's been a very active community member, and I wish him well. I'd like to introduce my Gracie. That was 8 pounds the last time you saw her. She is now 16, on her way to be the big dog she is going to be. So pretty soon she's going to take over this whole picture and camera. Very good. Good night and be well to all.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, thank you.
And Nabil, you've had nothing but positive feedback from this community about your presentation, the one that you did by Zoom, the one that you've been out there doing. So there's been very good feedback, and I'd like to share that with you, sir.
Thank you, Janelle. Thank you for the recognition. And it's all for our customers and you guys. So thank you.
Very good, sir. Good night.
Good
And
night,
Gracie
everybody.
says good night too.
Have a great evening.